welcome to the Lead Biblically 5-Minute Podcast. Every Monday morning, giving you a short devotional thought for when you're making a snack in the middle of the day or when you're trying to wind down to turn in for the night. I'm Pastor Jeremy Norton, and in today's episode, we're diving into the topic of prayer. Specifically, when and how should we be praying for our nation and its leadership? In our busy lives, it can be challenging to pause and consider the bigger picture. We're consumed by life's responsibilities, our family and careers, and a wide variety of other personal struggles and circumstances. But today we want to think about how national leaders and government institutions impact our lives. Would our roles and responsibilities look the same if our nation was at a time of war or political unrest? For those of us who live in a Western cultural context, do we appreciate the benefits of living in a peaceful nation? I get it. Sometimes we feel like everything's falling apart. And yet, when we reflect on the past century, or maybe even the past few centuries, our lives don't seem so dire, do they? Nevertheless, in the heat of the moment, in the midst of the struggle, it's hard to see the positives. Right now, in our nation, maybe you're struggling to see the positives. So, what do we do with our frustrations? If we're concerned about the direction of our nation, where it's heading, who can we vent to? When will our concerns be validated? Who can validate our concerns? This is where the Apostle Paul's letter to his apprentice Timothy provides some valuable insight. In 1 Timothy 2, verses 1 through 4, Paul writes, "I urge the supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for all people, for kings and all who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good, and it is pleasing in the sight of God our Savior, who desires all people to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth." As Christians, we're called to take initiative in all aspects of our lives, including our prayer life. Paul's instruction to Timothy emphasizes the critical importance of praying for national leaders, whether we agree with them or not. We should consider the stresses and difficulties they face in their roles. Would we want their job if we had the chance? Are we confident that we'd do a better job? How would we handle the stress? Would it be better? Would we be able to do it? Maybe it would, but I doubt it would be perfect. It would mean being under the microscope of media and scrutiny constantly. With that in mind, I'm convinced that it's not easy being a high-ranking government official, regardless of the party or platform. We should assume that it's a tough responsibility to carry. Now, I understand that this might not sit well with some of you, especially if, like me, you lean toward conservative values. We may find ourselves frustrated in the direction of our nation as secularism increases with every election. However, we can't disregard biblical instruction just because we're frustrated with the direction we're headed. God is still in control. Regardless of whether we agree with their policies, we must support our national leaders through prayer. In short, we may not vote for them, but we have to pray for them. We should also pause and take a moment to reflect on how fortunate we are living in Western society. As we bow our heads and close our eyes in prayer, we need to remember the nations currently facing war, depression, and we shouldn't forget that there's widespread persecution among certain nations where they're unable to pray or worship freely. How much more thankful should we be for our nation and its leaders with that consideration? We live in relative peace and prosperity where we can gather corporately and raise our voices and hands to heaven without any fear of being arrested or killed. Are we using this freedom to its full extent? Likely not. I'm certain that our journey with prayer has its challenges. It can be very difficult to pray for those who you don't want in leadership, for those who you believe are making our nation worse. Nevertheless, by the end of this process, praying for our leaders, I promise you that you'll feel more connected to God. You'll have a better submission and peace with His plan for our nation and for the world. Not because you're receiving some prophetic insight on a nation that might have some change or some future event that might come, but because you'll have gained a better appreciation for His sovereignty, His control, the common grace that we all receive. Thanks for joining me today on the Lead Biblically 5-Minute Podcast. Before we wrap up, I'd like to hear from you. Drop a comment or a review letting me know what you're thankful for in the country you live in. Why are you thankful? Would you still have your current career and family, the life you lead if you lived in another country? How would your life be different if your nation was at war, depression, or facing civil unrest? Join the conversation and leave your thoughts. This is a big topic that we need to process together. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I'd greatly appreciate a like and a follow or subscribe on whichever platform you're using. Until next time, may you find strength and wisdom in your faith journey. May your prayer life be fruitful this week and throughout this season of life.